Thank you, Mr. Chair, and to our witnesses, thank you for taking time to be here out of your schedules to bring this information before the committee. Just like Representative Herodopoulos, you're right, Mr. Chairman, it is a tough name. I had to practice it several times. This has been a new experience. I served in our state legislature in North Carolina, and so coming here and seeing things, it's been eye-opening in a lot of ways. But one of the more eye-opening things that I've seen since arriving here is how I've seen how some of our friends on the other side of the aisle will try to, I would describe it as weaponize the regulatory system to try to simply prevent access to types and forms of capital. And it strikes me, I did a little research here, and the country has roughly, 334 million people in it. Most recent data shows of that, anywhere from 27 to 28% of the people in our country either own or use crypto. So based on I was a solid C student in math, but based upon that, I think that's around 90 million people in this country who have confidence in crypto. And what it seems has been happening by the previous administration and by the other side is an attempt to try to use the regulatory framework to simply tell those 90 million people that they can't invest or they can't own in crypto. And I can't frankly think of anything that is more antithetical to a free enterprise system. So I first of all thanking those of you who are providing these opportunities for just ordinary consumers to be able to participate in a meaningful way in this new digital marketplace. I think it's digital currency is not only is the future, frankly, it is the present when nearly a third of the people in the country are actively using this. And I certainly don't want to repeat comments that have already been made so well by other members of the committee, but the regulatory framework of trying to add in the pressure to the banks to not engage with crypto, the pause letters, the opaque, I guess is the way to describe it, supervisory warning letters, and then of course the threats tied to the CAMELS rating as well. And so, what we know about any kind of currency, any kind of thing is, if it's a legitimate matter, which I would say, or legitimate business, which this member certainly thinks that crypto is, then what's going to happen is if there's simply attempts to stifle it, it's going to go somewhere else where it is allowed, whether it's in industries, I believe, banking with state-regulated banks, or many cases going offshore. So, Mr. Gruhl, I'll just ask this question to you. One, it does seem to me that as U.S. regulators are impacting the American digital asset community, it would appear, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, that it is impacting our ability to compete globally. And if that is in fact the case, sir, are there any other countries that are more welcoming to that financial innovation?
Thank you, Congressman. There's no question that the sclerosis that we've all operated under here in the United States for the last many years, I will put it that way, regarding legislation and regulation has led to a flight from the United States to other jurisdictions. The Europeans, for example, have passed a market in crypto assets form of legislation that, while not perfect, offers a reliable, steady framework within which to operate. That has drawn capital. That has drawn jobs. It was mentioned earlier, Singapore, another global leader in cryptocurrency regulation. They too are drawing capital, jobs, and frankly, enthusiasm and creativity that belongs here in the United States. While crypto is a global technology and a global industry, so much of the most important innovations actually were developed here in America. And yet, through this absence of regulation, this sclerosis, we've simply pushed entrepreneurs and risk takers, appropriate risk takers, the kinds of risk takers we used to be proud of in this country, to other parts of the world.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I yield back the balance of my time.
Chairman yields. The chair now recognizes Mr. Davidson of Ohio